नमो नमः। ॐ विद्युद्दामसमप्रभां मृगपतिस्कन्धस्थितां भीषणां कन्याभिः करवालखेटविलसद् हस्ताभिरासेवितां हस्तैः चक्रगदासिघेट विशिखांश्चापं गुणं तर्जनीं बिभ्राणां ननलात्मिकां शशिधरां दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे। दुर्गां त्रिनेत्रां भजे। त्रिनेत्रां दुर्गां भजे. Amma, she has the third eye, and she has all the personality features, beautiful, and also that of a warrior. And she has taken the lion as her seat or vahanam, and to the enemies she looks really bhishanam, like Narasimha Swami looking bhishanam. She is also a bhishana, and she is accompanied with so many stri sainyam kanyabhihi sevitam, and all those kanyas who are accompanying her, they are not simply coming with ordinary way, but they are having sword in their hands, keta in their hands, and all these ayudhas in their hands. So they are willing to participate in the war with whomever that Devi is fighting. And she is having also in her hands powerful weapons like chakram, mace, gada, ketam, chapam, gunam, banam, all those things. But who is this Agni? Who is this Durga? She is simply an analatmika, fire. So she is fire. Fire can never see any defeat at all. ಬೆಂಕಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಭಯ. And therefore she is analatmikam. But she is analatmika at the same time karunamurti. So she is having the Shashi, Chandra, the cool god, as her crest ornament, and she has three eyes. So such kind of Durga, a warrior Durga, we are trying to meditate upon her whenever we start making prayer to her. But especially when she goes to war with Mahishasura to open up and also meet all these Mahasuras, his band, that Mahisha's band, she is having a different Swarupam. She is here as the Mahalakshmi Swarupam. What is Mahalakshmi? Mahalakshmi is the embodiment of so all things at a place pulled together. That is to say that when Mahalakshmi is there, there is no dearth at all. And you look at Durga Parameswari or Lalita Parameswari, whatever, Mahashakti, when they become warriors and go to fight with the Mahasuras, Kamala Koti Bhi Sevitayai Namo Namaha. Kamala is lotuses and Kamala Sainyam. So she was surrounded by a large number of Kamalas. That is the Lakshmis, Bhagya Lakshmi, Lakshmi, Lakshmi. So I got so many Lakshmis. Actually speaking, we are not aware, but it is said in that in Sanatana Dharmam there are 80,000 namas to Mahalakshmi. She is very rich in her kirti. Mahalakshmim Sarojasthitam. That's what we are trying to meditate upon Mahalakshmi. That is, she is a warrior, she is a gracious deity, and she is a supporter, she is a sustainer. Of all things said and done, she is also a she is also one who will be a more giving annihilation or ending for the people. That's why when we make a Narayana Smriti to have an easy ending, when we think of Narayana, also Mahalakshmi is remembered. So to say, here in this sloka, in this Dhyana slokam, in second chapter, Dvitiya Adhyaya and Dvitiya Charitam, we have to remember at Om Akshastrak Parasum Gadeshu Kulisam Padmam Dhanuh Kundikam Dandam Sektimasim Cha Charmajalajam Ghantam Surabhajanam Shulam Pasa Sudarsane Chadadim Hastai Prasannananam Seve Sairibhamardini Yah Mahalakshmi Sarojasthitam Yah Mahalakshmi Sarojasthitam. Actually, I have seen the entire stretch of the wall of a building at the entrance of the Ujjaini University, Bikram University. Mahalakshmi's painting picture was being drawn. It was Mahalakshmi Sarojasthita. When we entered the campus to attend the conference long back, then we first witnessed the Mahalakshmi portrait being painted on the big wall, imagine. Even my Guru also, that is Saundarya Lahari Guru, he has also painted on two walls, L shape. On one wall, Sri Chakram. It is a very majestic wall purti madidare. And on the other hand, the Lalita Parameswari, Saundarya Devata, Lalita, because Saundarya Lalita. So that both, when the moment you enter into, or even do homam in that particular hall where these two pictures are permanently fixed, it is simply grand vibrations. Because the Parameswari or Parameswara, the divine presence is there any and everywhere. It is not simply trying to fix a location for Devi. So Prahlada, or rather Vyasa Bhagavan, Prahlada says, Indugaladu anduledani sandeham valadu. Chakri sarvopagatundu. Like that, Yamavaru Durga Parameswari Sarvopagata. Wherever you want her to come to help you, she would do it. Therefore, there is always a great power operating live in the life of all people that we have got to remember. So now we are just witnessing the war of Durga Parameswari, and she has met that Mahishasura afterwards, and even all the time the important chieftains of Mahishasura, a number of them were killed by Devi accordingly. So then we have all seen that. So Ugrakhya, Amele Chitshu, Asiloma, then Bhaskala, then all these chieftains or senapatis, they are also done. Ultimately, when he came to know that all senapatis are done, Mahishasura himself came to fight with that. And the fighting we have started, the fighting between Durga and Mahishasura actually begins from the 51 sloka of the second chapter. It is so entertaining. Actually, there are about 68 slokas or 68 formulas in the second chapter, wherein she is very active. In fact, when you must have observed, when you make a homa, Chandi homa as they call, then There are so many homakundas done and all that. There you observe every sloka is a formula. They start it with Om and end with Swaha. Thereby, the Swahakara tells the giving up of the offering. No claiming again back. Durga Ambika Ayai Namaha Idam Namama. So, ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ complete surrender for them. And then, so you observe here that Durga Parameswari is really rigorous, and she is not all tired. So I'm just reading the 50 sloka and onwards, just up to that stage where we have already explained, but still we will understand the spirit with which Durga Parameswari stood in the war and met all the enemies, whoever pounced on her. But there, the objective of the Mahishasura was not to love her, not to marry her, unlike the Sumbari Sumbas, but to kill her. Done with. But Amma also, it was a sport for her. Something like Mahishasura was like a child. As a mother as mother dandles and plays and very happy, very comfortable, and like that also you observe Durga Parameswari Leelayaiva Praticheda Nijasastra Astra Varshini Anayasthanana Devi Stuyamana Asurarshvihi Mumocha Suradeheshu Shastranyasтрani Jeswari. So, the retaliation by Devi Durga for all the kind of attack that Mahishasura was doing. So she was doing Anayasthanana Devi. There is no kind of fatigue or anything like that in her face. She was happily facing and participating in the war. But as she is so composed in the war, all gods are praising her. So as they praise her, then she became more active in the Asurasena by employing Shastra, Astra in large number of them. And she is Ishwari. She is all in all. So she did all that kind of Shastrastra Prayoga upon the Mahisha and his band of people. Then Mahisha also, in turn, ಗೀತಾ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಸೋಪಿ ಕ್ರುದ್ಧೋ ಧುತ ಸಟಃ.
ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಸರ್?
52.
ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್. ನಿಶ್ವಾಸಾನ್ಮುಚೆ ಯಾಂಶ್ಚ ಯುಧ್ಯಮಾನಾರಣೇಂಬಿಕಾ ತಯೇವ ಸದ್ಯ ಸಂಭೂತ ಗಣಶತ ಸಹಸ್ರಶಃ.
ಗಣಾಃ ಶತಸಹಸ್ರಶಃ.
ಗಣಾಃ ಶತಸಹಸ್ರಶಃ ನಿಶ್ವಾಸಾನ್ಮುಚೆ ಯಾಂಶ್ಚ ಯುಧ್ಯಮಾನಾರಣೇಂಬಿಕಾ ತಯೇವ ಸದ್ಯ ಸಂಭೂತ ಗಣಾಶ ಶತಸಹಸ್ರಶಃ ಯುಯುಧುಸ್ತೆ ಪಶುಭಿರ್ಭಿ ಬಿಂದಿ ಯುಯುಧುಸ್ತೆ ಪಶುಭಿರ್ಬಿಂದಿ ಪಾಲಸಿ ಪಟ್ಟಿಶೈ ನಾಶಯಂತ್ಯೋಸುರಗಣಾನ್ ದೇವಿ ಶಕ್ತ್ಯುಪಬೃಂಹಿತಾ ಯುಯುಧಸ್ತೆ ಪಶುಭಿರ್ಬಿಂದಿ ಪಾಲಾಸಿ ಪಟ್ಟಿಶೈ ನಾಶಯಂತೋಸುರಗಣಾನ್ ದೇವಿ ಶಕ್ತ್ಯುಪಬೃಂಹಿತಾ ಬೃಂಹಿತಾ. ಸಾಕಾ ಸರ್?
ಶಕ್ತ್ಯುಪಬೃಂಹಿತಾ ಯುಧುಸ್ತೆ ಪರಶುಭಿ ಭಿಂದಿ ಪಾಲಾಸಿ ಪಟ್ಟಸೈ ನಾಶಯಂತೋಸುರಗಣಾನ್ ದೇವಿ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಉಪಬೃಂಹಿತಾಃ. So, ಯಾಂಶ್ಚ ರಣೇ ಅಂಬಿಕಾ ಯುಧ್ಯಮಾನ ನಿಶ್ವಾಸಾನ್ ಮುಮುಚೆ Tayeva Sadhya Sambhuta Ganaha Shatasahasraha. Whatever out breath that Lalita, that Durga Parameswari left, put out, the out breath of Devi turned into large number of army of Devi. So Niswasa, Uchvasa, Niswasat, because of her out breath, Yam Niswasan Mumuche Devi Yujyamana Rane Ambika. In the war fighting, whatever amount of niswasas that she, high heaving that she emerged out from her, they all turn into a large group of thousands, I mean 100,000 group of Sena ladies, and all of them, they all very active. Suraganan, Asuraganan Devi, Shakti Upabrahmitaha, Avadayanta Patayan Ganaha, Shankhaha, Tadhavare. So there were also some Sena of Devi went on making high sound, Pataha, Shankha, and all these things they went on blowing. Not only that, Mrudangamscha Dhaivanye, Tasmin Yuddha Mahotsave. So that is Yuddha Mahotsava. It was a large, great celebration. The war was a high, jubilant celebration which is being attended by a large number of army of Devis who are all generated instantaneously by the outbreath of Parameswari Durga. She has not come with all people always. ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಹಾನುಭಾವರು, they will not bring anything. For example, Rama, he only carries the Kodanda. But when he turns to fight, all astras are siddhi, and the moment he remembers, one of them, whatever he remembers, that astra will come out and work upon the enemy. This is, you can know from Balakanda of Ramayana, when Vishwamitra presented a large number of astra-shastras to Rama and Lakshmana, they all stood in queue, in row, and asked Rama Lakshmanas, Aya, Swami, where can we stay in you? Where are you going to keep them? Because he cannot carry always a ayudhagara, he cannot carry. So immediately Rama said, Oh, Devatagala, you all take seat in me, and whenever I remember you, come out. Whenever there is need. So to say that Rama and Lakshmana, they are not simply the human beings walking, but they are endowed with power unimaginable. Therefore, one single Rama was able to fight with the Kharadushanas, who are 14,000 in number, the Sena. So that's what we understand. Niswasat mumuche yudhyamana ambika yamscha tayeva sambhuta sadhyaha gana satasahasraha. And all those ganas, they automatically took their employment. They did not stand before Durgamma, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಲ್ಲ. All the Shakti Devatas, they immediately they went into work. Some to blow musical instruments, war instruments, and see that the entire war is simply resounding with the sounds. And adu because all these Niswas Janita Shakti Satasahasra Devata Devi, they were so happy that they have an opportunity to fight with the right army, enemies, Mahasuras, and being directed by Devi Durga. దుర్గా అమ్మవారు ఒప్పుకుంది. అమ్మవారు చెప్పక్కర్లేదు. అమ్మవారి యొక్క మనోభావన, they all understood and they went into action. That's why each time the boss of the office need not reach every employee and say that you did this. No, unless there is something special, he will call only that employee and tell. But in this case, all employees know their respective jobs, and therefore immediately they come, when they come to their office, they go to their table and start working. ಹಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ అమ్మవారి నుంచి జనరేట్ అయినటువంటి అందరూ దేవతలు వాళ్ళ వాళ్ళ ఉద్యోగాలు వాళ్ళు తీసేసుకుని యుద్ధం చేస్తున్నారు. సో వెన్ దే హ్యావ్ టేకన్ దట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ హైయెస్ట్ జుబిలీ, హై సౌండింగ్, బికాస్ యుద్ధ ಅಂದರೆ ಯುದ್ಧ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನೆವರ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ಲಿ. Something like this Deepavali. See, Deepavali normally cannot be silent. All people will be burning the crackers and other things, so that there will be a lot of sound and sounds. Therefore, here in 50, therefore you see, avadayanta patahan ganaha shankha tatha apare mrudangamscha anye tatha yuddha mahotsave. So when some of them, a large number of them, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಗದ ಬಿನ್ ಈ ಡಮರು, ದೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ನಗಾರಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ದಿ ಮೃದಂಗ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಾರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಕಷನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸು, ದೆರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹೈ ಸೌಂಡ್. ಆ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಡೈ. ಸೊ ಹುಂಕಾರೇಣ ವಿಧಿನ నాశయత్ లోకాన్ ಅಂತ. అమ్మవారు ఒకసారి హుంకారం చేసేస్తే చావే. కాకుండా ఇట్లా, దట్స్ హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ ఆన్ లైక్ దట్. ಹೇಳಿಮ್ಮ. ಖಡ್ಗಾದಿಭಿಶ್ಚ ಶತಸೋ.
ಇಲ್ಲ 55 ಅಲ್ವೇ ಸರ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ, 57. ನಾನು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 55, 56 ಆಯಿತು. ಇವಾಗ 57 ಹೇಳಿ.
पातयामास चैवान्यान् घण्टास्वन विमोहितान् असुरान् भुवि पाशेन बद्ध्वा चान्यानकर्षयत्. पातयामास चैवान्यान् घण्टास्वन विमोहितान् असुरान् भुवि पाशेन बद्ध्वा चान्यानकर्षयत्. केचिद्विधा कृतास्तीक्ष्णे खड्गैपातैस्तथा परे विपोतितानि पातेन गदया भुवि शेरते. केचिद्विद्धा कृतास्तीक्ष्णे खड्गपातैस्तथा परे विपोतितानि पातेन गदया भुवि शेरते. वेमुश्च केचिद्रुधिरं मुसलेन वृषं हता केचिन्निपतिता भूमौ भिन्ना शूलेन वक्षसि. वेमुश्च केचिद्रुधिरं मुसलेन वृषं हता केचिन्निपतिता ಭೂಮೌ ಭಿನ್ನಾ ಶೂಲೇನ ವಕ್ಷಸಿ.
ಈ 3 ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ವಾರ್. ಯುದ್ಧ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಹೀನಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ನವರಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದ್ಭುತ ರಸ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದಿ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ 9 ರಸಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅದ್ಭುತ ರಸ ಒಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಸಹ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಜಲಸ್ ಅದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಸೀನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಿದ್ದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಎ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಪ್ಸಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್. ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಇನ್ 57 ಅಮ್ಮವಾರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಳೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಪಾತಯಾಮಾಸ ಚ ಚೈವ ಅನ್ಯಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ತಥೋ ದೇವಿ ತ್ರಿಶೂಲೇನ ಗದಯಾ ವೃಷ್ಟಿಭಿಃ ಖಡ್ಗಾದಿಭಿಶ್ಚ ಸತಸಃ ನಿಜಘಾನ ಮಹಾಸುರಾನ್. She has touched only the Mahasuras, highly difficult Rakshasas, and how, like, with her sword, she was able to finish off many more people on one hand. Also, she was able to put down Trishula, Gada, Shakti, and Vrishtivihi. Shakti, Vrishti is the rain. So with so much of rain, raining all that, the Mahasura Nijaghana, she killed all great. And moreover, in the next sloka, you see, Anyan Padayamasa Ghantaswana Vimohitan. There are other set of Rakshasas who fainted and fell down because of the sounds of the Ghanta that made them terrified. They made that the Ghanta Swanam, that is the sound of the bells. That's a very different one. That's why you have a special form of Durga, Evanta Chandra Ghanta Devi, Siddhidatri Devi. So ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ದೇವಿ ನವದುರ್ಗ ಪ್ರಕೀರ್ತಿತ ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ mainly Amma divides into 9 chieftains, and ಆ 9 forms they are all fighting very rigorously with all the Shakti Saina, and trying to what kind of punishment to be given to the Mahasuras for all their atrocity or himse that they have done. Accordingly, judicious punishments have been given. Some people are ruthlessly killed so that they will not come back to life. And some Rakshasas have been made to fall down, fainted, owing to the sounds of the Chandra. That's why in war ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ Chandraghanta Devi also will be there active in the war. And also ultimate, the last deity is Siddhidatri. You must have attended some talks, I think, of Navaratra and Manisha and Ramajan Motsava celebrations for by the World Association for Vedic Studies, and so many scholars have shared their knowledge, and the entire Durga Katha, Rama Katha also was narrated. So in that you observe that Chandraghanta Devi, per day one Devi. So the Chandraghanta Devi and all people have made the many asuras to fall down on the ground. And moreover, some of the Rakshasas who fell down on the ground, they were all tied with the ropes. Asuran bhuvipasena badhva cha anyan akarshayatu. So ಕೆಲವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ರಾಕ್ಷಸರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ರೋಪಿಂದ ಪಾಸಗಳಿಂದ ಕಟ್ಟಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದೇವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಪುಲ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಎ ಡಿಚ್. ಅನ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಕರ್ಷಯತು. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ the deaths and punishment and war is taking place is being described. You observe, generally, any accident happens, we cannot describe the manner of the accident at all. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಂದು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದಾಯಿತು ಇದಾಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್, ನಾವೇನಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಈ ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಳೆ, ಹೌ ಶಿ ವಾಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಆರ್ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಸೈನ್ಯಂ ವಾಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಟು ದಿ ಮಹಾಸುರಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ವಾರ್. ವಾರಲ್ಲಿ, ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರುಣೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಲವ್ ಇನ್ ವಾರ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೇಮ, ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ಪ್ರೇಯಸ್ಸು ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎನಿಮಿಟಿ. ಯಶೋವ ಮೃತ್ಯುರ್ವ. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಅವಕಾಶ ತಗೊಂಡು ಶತ್ರುಗಳ ನಾಶ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಕೆಲಸ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಈ ತಾಯಿಯ ಸೈನ್ಯ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಳೆ, ಅಸುರಾನ್ ಭುವಿಪಾಸೇನ ಬದ್ಧ್ವಾ ಅನ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಕರ್ಷಯತು. ಅಕರ್ಷಣ ಅಂದರೆ ಪುಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್. So some Rakshasas are pulled into ditches. So there was a lot of operations going on in the war, especially with regard to those Rakshasas who are killed, who are made to fall down, who are made to become unconscious, who are tied by the ropes. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯುದ್ಧ ಅಂದರೆ ಯುದ್ಧ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಯುದ್ಧ ವರ್ಣನೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದಿ ವಾರ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮ್ಯೂಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಟೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Especially Devas, when Rama Ravana are fighting, or when the Mahabharata war was going on, Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra were the people who were witnessing. Dhritarashtra was given the war report, but Sanjaya was seeing every bit, every detail of that. ಅದರಿಂದ ಯುದ್ಧ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಹೀನಸ್ ಸಿಚುಯೇಷನ್, ಅಸಹ್ಯ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬೀಭತ್ಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬೀಭತ್ಸ ರಸ. ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಭಯ 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 ಭಯ, ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಯವೇ. ಆದರೆ ಆ ಭಯವನ್ನು ಕಾಂಕರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಶತ್ರುಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಶತ್ರುಗಳ. ಸೊ ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ್ಯಾಮ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲಿ ಎನಿಮಿಕಲ್, ದೇ ಆಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್. ದೇರ್ ಫೋರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಸುರಾನ್ ಭೂಯಪಾಸೇನ ಬದ್ಧ್ವಾ ಚ ಅನ್ಯಾನ ಕರ್ಷಯತು. And ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಂದರೆ some people have been made into two parts. The body is cut off, head ಬೇರೆ, ಮೊಂಡೆ ಬೇರೆ, or the waist ಬೇರೆ. So the body has been cut. Therefore, there it is said that some Rakshasas have been broken into pieces. And with the help of the Tishnaihi Khadgapataihi. So the Khadgapata, the power of the striking by the sword, was so filled with force that they could not survive. The Rakshasas were cut into pieces. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯುದ್ಧ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೆಂಗಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಯುದ್ಧ ವರ್ಣನ. But if you want to know more and more about the war, Yuddha Ranga. It's called Ranga. Ram means enjoyment. Ga andre people go to Yuddha to have the enjoyment. That is, all the Yodhas have a great opportunity to exhibit their skill and also training in warfare. ಸೊ ಯುದ್ಧ ವೀರರಿಗೆ ಯುದ್ಧ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎನಿಮಿಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಎನಿಮೀಸ್ ಯುದ್ಧೋತ್ಸಾಹ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಇಸ್ ಉತ್ಸಾಹ ಕ್ರಿಯಾ. ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಂಜನೇಯ ಸುಂದರಕಾಂಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹನುಮಾನ್, ಆಲ್ದೋ ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ರಾಕ್ಷಸಸ್, ಸೊ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟಯರ್ಡ್, ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ರೆಡಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟೇನಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟಫ್ ರಾಕ್ಷಸಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಕ್ಷಕುಮಾರ. But he could have finished to great extent that Indrajit also, but he wanted to meet the Rakshasa Raja Ravana and give him caution. At least he can be repaired, he can change his mind. So Ravana has been given a great number of opportunities by so many people that he can change his decision and not keep Sita in his folds, but send her away to her husband Rama. But he was not ready for that. So in this war, Vipotithaha nipatena gadaya bhuviserate. So some people being broken of their body into pieces, they fell down, and some other Rakshasas who were all beaten by the Gada. So when they were beaten by the Gada, they were just becoming completely paralyzed, and they were all squashed, and they were all squashed or pressed down, and they fell down on the ground one by one. And some people, when they were hit by the Gada, they vomited blood. Vemuschake chit rudhiram. So rudhira andre blood. Some Rakshasas, they were just vomiting blood. So when blood goes out from the body, people become nirasa. So blood cancer is a very dangerous one, also among other kind of cancers. ಬಟ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಬಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ವಾಮಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೇಮುಹು ಕೇಚಿತ್ ರುಧಿರಂ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಚ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಿ ಗದಾ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್, ಈವನ್ ದಿ ಮುಸಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಪೆಸಲ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತಾರೆ, ಒಡಿಕೆನಾ ಅದು, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ. ಸೊ ತುಂಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ದಪ್ಪವಾಗಿರುವ ಮುಸಲವನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು, ಮುಸಲಾಯುಧ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಹೊಡೆದರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್? ರುಧಿರಂ ಬಮುಹು. ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಾಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರಿಗೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಎ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಎ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಡೀಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ. And also this Rakshasa Sainya is becoming thinner and thinner because most of them were all put off. So Odama 60, Vemuscha, you read, Kechin Nipajita Bhumu Bhinnaha Sulena Vakshasi. So some people fell down on the ground and they were all beaten by the Sulam, and they are also torn, slain by the Sula. So to say that how many kinds of ornament, weapons have been used by Shakti Devatas, Shakti Sainyam. See that respective Rakshasas could find their ending because of that particular weapon employed over them. Because ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So different people are there. Some people die in the hospital, some people die on the accident, some people die in the kitchen, some people die in the hotel, some people die. So the death place we don't know, but we all know the birthplace. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟೋದು ದ ಬರ್ತ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸೈಡೆಡ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ದಿ ಡೆತ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಡೆತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ವಂಡರ್, ಅದ್ಭುತಂ, ಚಿತ್ರಂ ವಿಚಿತ್ರಂ. ಐ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಮೈ ಅಂಕಲ್, who was a very great tapasvi, I should say, for a morning breakfast, he went to a hotel and ordered for idli. And he ate one idli and another idli he put into the mouth. ಒಂದು ಹಾಫ್ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಫ್ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ. ಫಿನಿಶ್ಡ್. ಅದು ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು, ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಹೌಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಹಿ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವೆಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಟು ದಿ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ನಿಯರ್ ಬೈ. ಆ ಪ್ರೊಪರೇಟರ್ ಬಂದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ಆಯುಧದಿಂದ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೋ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಎ ಅದ್ಭುತಂ, ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯಂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅನ್ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿಂಡ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಶೂಲೇನ ವಕ್ಷಸಿ ಭಿನ್ನಾಹ ಭೂಮೌ ಕೇಚಿನ್ ನಿಪತಿತಾಹ. ಸೊ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಆ ಶೂಲದಿಂದ ಭಿನ್ನ ಪುಷ್ಪ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೆಲವರು ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆ ಏಟುಗಳಿಂದ ಕೆಲವರು ರಕ್ತವನ್ನು ವಾಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗದ, ಮುಸಲ, ಖಡ್ಗ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪಾಶ, ಘಂಟಾಸ್ವನ, these are all some of the known instruments, which have weapons which have been responsible to finish a large number of army of the Asuras. And now please repeat. Vasan, can you repeat these things? 60. Nirantaraha Sharaukhena. Vasan or anybody, or Geeta, no.
ನಿರಂತರ ನಿರಂತರ ಶರೌಘೇಣ
ತಪ್ಪು ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಯಶ್ಚಿತ್ತ ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಬೇಡ. ನಿರಂತರಾಹ ಶರೌಘೇಣ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಹೇಳಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಿರಂತರಾಹ ಶರೌಘೇಣ.
ನಿರಂತರಾಹ ಶರೌಘೇಣ. ನಿರಂತರ ಶರೌಘೇಣ.
ಕೃತಾಹ ಕೇಚಿದ್ರಣಾಜಿರೇ.
ಕೃತಾಹ ಕೇಚಿದ್ರಣಾಜಿರೇ. ಕೃತಾಹ ಕೇಚಿದ್ರಣಾಜಿರೇ.
ಸೇನಾನುಕಾರಿಣಃ.
ಶೈಲಾನ್ಕಾರಿಣಃ. ಶೈಲಾನುಕಾರಿಣಃ.
ಸೇನಾನುಕಾರಿಣ. ನಿಮ್ದು ಶೈಲ ಇದೆಯಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬುಕ್ಕು?
ಶೈಲಾನುಕಾರಿಣಃ.
ಸೇನಾನುಕಾರಿಣಃ ಪ್ರಾಣಾನ್ ಮುಮುಚುಃ.
शैलानुकारिणः प्राणान् मुमुचुः शैलान्कारिणः प्राणान् मुमुचुः
त्रिदशार्दनाः
श्रीर्दशार्दनाः श्रीर्दशार्दनाः
केषाञ्चित्
केषाञ्चित्
बाहवः छिन्नाः
केषाञ्चिद्बाः वश्चिन्ना केषाञ्चिद्बा
ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಫಾಲೋ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಓದೋದು ಕಷ್ಟಮ್ಮ ಇದು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಕೇಶಾಂ ಬಾಹವಶ್ಚಿನ್ನಾಃ
केषान् केषान्
ಚಿತ್ ಬಾಹವಃ
चिद्भाव चिद्भावश्चिन्ना
ಬಾಹವಃ ಬಾಹು
केषाञ्चिद्भावः वः
ಬಾಹವ
चिन्ना
ಹ್ಮ್.
चिन्ना
छिन्न ग्रीवाः तथा परे
छिन्नग्रीवास्तथा परे छिन्नग्रीवास्तथा परे
केषाञ्चित् बाहवश्चिन्नाः
केषाचिद्भावश्चिन्ना केषाचिद्भावश्चिन्ना
ಬಾಹವಃ ಶೌಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಬಾಹವಃ ಬಾಹುಗಳು ಬಾಹವಃ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಬಾಹು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸಿಂಗುಲರ್ ಏಕವಚನ ಗ್ರೀವಾ ತಥಾ ಪರೇ छिन्न ग्रीवा तथा परे
छिन्नग्रीवा तथा परे छिन्नग्रीवा तथा परे
शिरांसि पेतुरन्येषाम्
शिरांसि हेतुरन्येषां शिरांसि हेतुरन्येषाम्
अन्ये मध्ये विदारिताः
मन्ये मध्ये विदारिताः मन्ये मध्ये विदारिताः
विच्छिन्नजङ्घाः तु
विच्छिन्नजङ्गास्त्वप विच्छिन्नजङ्गास्त्वपरे
ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ವಿಚ್ಛಿನ್ನಜಂಘಾಃ
विच्छिन्नजङ्गाः विच्छिन्नजङ्गाः
ಚ ಪರೇ ಪೇತುಃ
स्वपरे सपरे हेतु पेतु स्तपरे पेतुरु
ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತಪ್ಪು ಬರಲ್ಲ ದೋಷ ಬರಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ಪೇತುರು ಅನ್ನೋ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಪೇತುಃ ಉರ್ವ್ಯಾಂ ಬರಬೇಕು
पेतुरुर्व्यां
ಮಹಾಸುರಾಃ
महासुराः
ಏಕಬಾಹು
एकबाहो
ಅಕ್ಷಿಚರಣಾಃ ಕೇಚಿತ್
अक्षिचरणाः केचिद्
ದೇವ್ಯಾ ದ್ವಿಧಾ ಕೃತಾಃ
देव्या द्विधा कृताः
ಸೊ ಹೌ ದಿ ಬಾರ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಯುದ್ಧ ವರ್ಣನ ತುಂಬ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಾರ್ಕಂಡೇಯ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ಇನ್ ಪುರಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಪುರಾಣ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ವಿ ಫೀಲ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿಟ್ನೆಸ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ವಾರ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಬೈ ದುರ್ಗಾ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರಿ with the Rakshasas and the kind of weapons that she has used also. ಎಂಥ ಆಯುಧಗಳ ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ಡನ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರ ದೇರ್ ವರ್ ನಿರಂತರಾ ಸರೌಘೇಣ ಕೃತಾ ಕೇಚಿತ್ ರಣಾಜಿರೆ. ಇಂದು ಯುದ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರಂತರಾ ಶರಾಹ, ದಿ ಬಾಣ ವರ್ಷ or the flow of the bana, the raining of the banas or arrows was not at all stopping, continuous flow of the banas. So in that ರಣಾಜಿರೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆ ಬಾಣಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ಆ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ದೇವತೆಗಳಿಂದ ಬಿಡಿಸಿರುವ ಬಾಣಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ವಾಟ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಲಿ ದಿ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೇನಾ or enemies on the side of Mahasuras, they all fell down dead on the ground. ಪ್ರಾಣಾನ್ ಮುಚುಹು, ತಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಣಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿದ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದು ಒಂದು ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೊ ದೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ the bana, but the bana that they employed back did not hit the target, but the bana devis have employed over the Rakshasas hit them and made them die. Therefore, ಅದು ಒಂದು ತರಹ ಯುದ್ಧ. ಸೊ ಬಾಣವು ಬಾಣ ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ ಬಿಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಫುಲ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವೇ ಏನಂದರೆ ಕೇಶಾಂ ಚಿತ್ ಬಾಹವಶ್ಚಿನ್ನಾ, ఆ బాణಗಳಿಂದ తగిలి ಅವರು కొంతమంది ఏం చేశారు రాక్షసులు, వాళ్ళ చేతులు కట్ ఆఫ్ అయిపోయింది. బాహవ చిన్నాహ. ఇంకా కొంతమందికి ఫర్ సమ్ మోర్ పీపుల్ their neck was separated from their mundam body, and for some other people their head was removed. And all these Rakshasas, thus being slain in the war by the arrows and other implements, they all fell down in the war ground. Anyeshamanye madhye vidaritaha. Some other people were killed or divided of their waist portion. So the Vanas have removed or cut off their at waist level, and they also fell down. And some more people, vichinna jangha. So their jangha, their knees were cut off, and some people, they were all, their thighs were cut off. Therefore, all the Mahasuras having that kind of broken legs and broken members of the body, by the force of the arrows, they all fell down. And అమ్మవారు ఏం చేసింది? వాట్ ఈస్ ద అమ్మవారుస్ వర్క్? సి విచ్ఛిన్న జంఘా అపరే పేతురుర్వ్యాం మహాసురా, దట్ ఈస్ వన్ థింగ్. అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ హర్ వర్క్? షీ హ్యాస్ ఏకబాహు అక్షీ చరణా केचित् दिव्या केचित् देव्या द्विधा कृताः. सो के एकबाहु अक्षी चरणाः केचित् विधा कृताः. So Rakshasas are not always beautiful. Rakshasah vikrutananaha, ವಿಕೃತ ರೂಪಾಹ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ they were not very much handsome like in Dwapara Yugam. Rakshasas were vikrutananaha ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಕೂಟ ಯೋಧಿನಃ ಕುಣ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಕುಣಪಾಹ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಒನ್ ಹೂ ಡ್ರಿಂಕ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಆಸ್ ದೇರ್ ವಾಟರ್. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರಾಕ್ಷಸಾಸ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ರಾಕ್ಷಸಾಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಗ್ರೇಟ್, who are having only one hand but coming to find. You observe that Kabandha Rakshasa in Ramayana, he had no head, he had only body, but his eyes were there on the chest. So Vikara ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಅದು ಇದಾನೆ. That's why it's called Kabandha Rakshasa. But it was a good problem because Kabandha took away Sita Devi and saying that I will marry her. Because Sita Devi was wanted by so many Rakshasas, but ultimately Ravanasura. So before Ravana kidnapped her, that Kabandha was one who wanted to marry the Sita Devi. Look at the Rakshasa Buddhi. And so in order to protect Sita and all that, both of them are also Rama Lakshmanas. So they first cut off the hands and then legs and made him paralyzed. But Kabandha was a Shapagrasta Rakshasa. So when he was burnt, Savasamskara ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಗಂಧರ್ವನಾಗಿ he will direct Rama Lakshmanas to go to Bharadwajastramam and all that. So the journey of Rama and Lakshmana is being directed by rishis in a path where there were all good number of Rakshasas. So Rama, Lakshmana ವನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅರಣ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಗೋ ವೇಸ್ಟ್. So they cleared, Dandakaranadaliro, most of the powerful Rakshasas were cleared by Rama and Lakshmana. Here also, the Mahishasura and all these Asuras, they were having a large number of Mahasuras under their twitch. And so it was really a great task to fight with Mahishasura. And here there were people who are having one bahu, one eye, one leg, and all these people are being cut off by Ammavaru with her own that. So some Rakshasas are there who are, you remember, I mean, we should remember that Rakshasas are great devotees to Amma or Ayya. So Amma, Ayya, they chose. And accordingly, they got their boons from different. But Brahmadeva is one goal to all gods, especially Hiranyakasipu, Hiranyaksha, and Rudrasura, etc. All these people, Ravanasura, Banasura, ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವನಿಂದ ವರಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿ ಆ ವರಗಳ ಗರ್ವದಿಂದ ನಾಶ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕೀರ್ತನಾಸ್ ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜ ಸೇಸ್, వరములు పొంది ఎవరు సుఖపడిరయ్యా రామా అది చెప్పగరారా అంటాడు. See, so many Rakshasas and so many people got boons from Paramatma, Brahmadeva, but is there anybody who felt happy, who became prosperous, having obtained boons from the Paramatma? No. Therefore, we always make prayer, Aya Sampado Naiva Sampadaha. And Vismruti Apadaha. So Narayana Smriti Martha Idre, you will get all that. So today that Saivalini has put that Subhashita in our WhatsApp. We should be thankful to her. She is every day putting one or the other useful Subhashita. So Narayana Smriti. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರು ಯಾರೋ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಶ್ಯಾಮನು, ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ, ಮಠ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ 20 years ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾನ್ಷಿಯಸ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಕೋಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಆಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಆಶ್ರಮದ ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಮಠದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ 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 ಅಂತ 10 ದಿವಸಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಜಪ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೈಯಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ದಟ್ ಫೆಲೋ ಕೇಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಲೈಫ್. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಾರಾಯಣನ ಮಿರಕಲ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯೇತಿ ಅಷ್ಟಾಕ್ಷರಪದ ಮಧ್ಯೇತಿ ವೈಕುಂಠಪದಮಾಪ್ನೋತಿ. ಯಾರು ನಮೋ ಅಷ್ಟಾಕ್ಷರ ಮಂತ್ರ ಜಪ ಮಾಡೋವರೆಗೆ ವೈಕುಂಠ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಟ್, ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ XYZ benefits by uttering Om Namo Narayana Ashtaksharam. Similarly, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, it is called as the Trayodasakshari Mahamantra of Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. ಸೊ ಈ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ ಜಯ ರಾಮ ಜಯ ಜಯ ರಾಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಜಯ ಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಮಠಾಧಿಪತಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನು ಅದು ತ್ರಯೋದಶಾಕ್ಷರಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ ಈಸ್ ದ್ವಾದಶಾಕ್ಷರಿ ಮಹಾಮಂತ್ರ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ವಾಸುದೇವಾಯ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದಿ ಅಕ್ಷರ ಸಂಖ್ಯಾ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಮೂಲ ಮಂತ್ರ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಪವರ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರಹ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಬೀಜಾಕ್ಷರವನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ದೇವಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ನಮಗೆ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಓಂ ದುಂ ದುರ್ಗಾಯೈ ಸ್ವಾಹ, ಓಂ ಐಂ ಹ್ರೀಂ ಕ್ಲೀಂ ಚಾಮುಂಡಾಯೈ ವಿಚ್ಛೇ, ಓಂ ಐಂ ಹ್ರೀಂ ಕ್ಲೀಂ ಚಾಮುಂಡಾಯೈ ವಿಚ್ಛೇ, ಓಂ ಐಂ ಹ್ರೀಂ ಕ್ಲೀಂ ಚಾಮುಂಡಾಯೈ ವಿಚ್ಛೇ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಮೂಲ ಮಂತ್ರ ಆಫ್ ದುರ್ಗಾ ಸಪ್ತಸತಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಮೂಲ ಮಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪಾರಾಯಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಜಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದುರ್ಗಾರ್ತಿ ನಾಶಿನಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ದೇವಿ ಭಕ್ತರೇ, ಆದರೆ ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಪಾಪಗಳಿಂದ ಆ ಪಾಪಗಳನ್ನು ನಾಶ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನಾಶ ಆದ್ರೇ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಲಲಿತಾ ಸಹಸ್ರನಾಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾಪಾಪ ಓಘನಾಶಿನ್ಯೈ ನಮೋ ನಮಃ, ಮಹಾಪಾಪ ಓಘನಾಶಿನಿ ಅಂತ. ಮಹಾಪಾಪಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಓಘ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಮೂಹ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್. ಅನಂತವಾಗಿರುವ ಪಾಪಗಳು ಮಾಡೋದು. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಪಾಪಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಯಾರನ್ನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. that Hatya, Bhruna Hatya, Brahma Hatya, and Manava Hatya, etc., Pasu Hatya, Hatya, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಸೀನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಒಂದು 5-6 ಗುಬ್ಬಚ್ಚಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತಲೆ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರಹ ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಆನಂದ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು. ಆದರೆ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಯೋ 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 ಹಿಂಸೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಜುನ ತರಹ. ಇಫ್ ಐ ವರ್ ಟು ಫೈಟ್ ದಿ ವಾರ್ ಇನ್ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್, ನೋ ನೋ ನೋ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಶಾಶ್ವತ ನರಕವಾಸ. ನೋ, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ನರಕಂ. ಸೊ he directly refuses to war with Arjuna, with Krishna. And imagine that kind of boldness in Arjuna to say to Deva, to Krishna, I'm not going to fight, I'm not going to kill, I'm not going to be a sinner. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆದರೆ ಈ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್. ಲೈಕ್ ರಾವಣ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ರಾವಣನಿಗೆ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಯ್ಯ, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಕುಂಭಕರ್ಣ ಎಬ್ಸಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಡುಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಎಬ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀಯಾ ಅಂತ. ಈ ತರಹ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಸಿಂಪಲ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ವರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀಯಾ, ಹೋಗಿ ಸೀತೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡು ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ದೆನ್ ರಾವಣ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಫೈರ್, ಇರಿಟೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ. ಹೆಂಗಂದರೆ ಕ್ಷತೆ ಕ್ಷಾರ ಇವ ಅಂಗಾರಹ ಅಂತ. ಅವನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕೋಪ ಬಂತು ಅಂದರೆ, ಕೆಂಪಾಗಿರುವ ಹುಣ್ಣು ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೆಣಸಿನ ಪುಡಿ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಉಪ್ಪು ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ನಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಉರಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಮ್ಮ, ವಿಚ್ಛಿನ್ನ ಜಂಘಾ ಪರೇ ಪೇತುರ್ವ್ಯಾಂ ಮಹಾಸುರಾ, ದೇ ಆಲ್ ಫೆಲ್ ಡೌನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಥೈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬ್ರೋಕೆನ್ ಆರ್ ಕಟ್ ಆಫ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೋಸ್ ರಾಕ್ಷಸಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಏಕಬಾಹು ಅಕ್ಷಿ ಏಕಚರಣ ಏಕಾಕ್ಷಿ ಏಕಚರಣಾ. ಸೊ ಏಕಶಬ್ದ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಟು ಬಾಹು, ಅಕ್ಷಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಚರಣ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕೇಚಿತ್ ದೇವಿಯ ದ್ವಿಧಾ ಕೃತಾ. ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ದೆಮ್ some people are just made divided or got broken into 2 pieces. And some people ಚಿನ್ನೋಪಿ ಚಾನ್ಯೇ ಸರಸ್ಯ ಪತಿತಾಹ ಪುನರುತ್ಥಿತಾಹ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಈ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು ಏನಂದರೆ, ಈವನ್ ದೋ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಿಲ್ಡ್, ಎಗೈನ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಲೈಫ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇರೋದು ರಾಕ್ಷಸ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಮ್ಮಯ್ಯ ಸಾಯಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ತೃಪ್ತಿ ಪಡೋದು ಬೇರೆ, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಅಗೈನ್ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. ಸಿನಿಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಹೀರೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿಲನ್ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, even though hero is hurt very much, he will not stop jumping back. And even though villain is hurt, he was so that's all maya. That is only in film it is possible, but in real life it is not truth. So but here rakshasas are all blessed with some boons by Devi and Devas, and therefore they are again back. For example, look at the Bhasmasura. Bhasmasura wanted to verify the boon given by Shiva. Upon whosoever head he keeps his hand, they get burnt. He wanted experiment to verify whether it is true or not upon Shiva himself. So it's all looking at that. Rakshasa, sometimes they don't take it for granted, but they want to verify before the grant giving fellow. ಸೊ ಎನಿವೆ, ಸೊ ಈ ತರಹ ಯುದ್ಧ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ತಾಯಿ ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಕಾಲ ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಾಡಲಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರಿಗೆ ಇದು, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಇದು ಯುದ್ಧ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರಣ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ. ಈ ರಣ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪ್ ಟು ಆಲ್. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟುಡೇ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್. ದುರ್ಗಾಂಬಿಕಾಯೇ ನಮಃ. ರಾಮನವಮಿ ಆಯಿತು. ರಾಮ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದುರ್ಗಾ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಗುಡ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ರಾಮ ಪೂಜೆ, ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣಾಗ್ರಜ ಪೂಜಿತಾಯೈ ದುರ್ಗಾಂಬಿಕಾಯೈ ನಮೋ ನಮಃ ಅಂತ. ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣಾಗ್ರಜ ಪೂಜಿತ ಅಂದರೆ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಗ್ರಜ ರಾಮ, ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ devotees of Amma Durga. So like that here you observe in Durga Saptasati so many important details around it. Om Swasti. ಗೋಪಿನಾಥ್ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿ, ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸಹನಾವವತು ಸಹನೌ ಭುನಕ್ತು ಸಹ ವೀರ್ಯಂಕರವಾವಹೈ तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। सर्वं श्रीमातृचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु। ॐ श्रीवेदपुरुषाशीर्वादोऽस्तु। ॐ तत्सतु।